Today I'm going to show you how to make some easy cheesy enchiladas for only 98 cents a serving and this delicious lemon pound cake for only 38 cents a serving. First up, we're going to get started on these enchiladas. For this, you're going to need about 3 cups of shredded cheese. I used Mexican blend, 2 pounds of ground turkey, a tub of 16-ounce tub of sour cream, a can of rotel, 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, 1 chopped up onion, and a bunch of tortillas. I also use seasoned salt, red pepper flakes, onion powder, garlic powder, chili powder, and cumin powder. I started off by cooking my ground beef until it was browned, or ground turkey I should say. Added in my onions. You can drain the ground turkey if you prefer. I didn't have a lot of juice in there, so I went ahead and just did it as is. You can also use this little trick to clean out your can so that it doesn't get watered down. I added in 1 of the cans of cream of chicken soup, about half of the shredded cheese, the tub of sour cream, and my can of rotel, and just stirred it until it was well combined. Then I added in my seasonings. I added in a tablespoon of seasoned salt, a teaspoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of onion powder. I also added in about a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. You can add more if you like it a little spicier. You're going to want to spray down your pan so that your enchiladas don't stick to the bottom, and you're going to line it with your tortillas. I have about 14 in this pan. It's a rather large pan. It's not a 9x13. It's, I think, more like a 15x17. Then I went ahead and filled each of my enchiladas with about 2 scoops of the sauce, which is about half a cup worth of the filling that I had made up. I then closed each of them, and then I rolled it over so the seam was face down so it would stay closed. You can see me struggling just a little bit to wrap and roll, but I did them all, and here they are. You're gonna have a little bit of the sauce left most likely at the end, and that's perfect. And you're gonna just add your other can of cream of chicken soup in there and stir it around, and you're gonna put this on top of your enchiladas. Try to keep it as even as possible and spread it out with the back of your spoon until everything is well coated. This is gonna help your enchiladas to stay really nice and soft and tender, and to not get too hard and crispy. Then you're going to layer the rest of that cheese on top. Just sprinkle it all over in a nice even layer. And you're going to be preheating your oven to 350 degrees. Then you'll pop that whole pan into your oven, and it'll cook for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until it's just bubbling and the cheese has started to get a little bit of color on top. You could serve this with a little extra sour cream and a little bit of guacamole if you wanted, or you can serve it as is. We served it as is with an option to add a little extra hot sauce if you wanted more heat with your enchiladas. And everybody really enjoyed this. We had very little left over, not even a serving left. By the end of the night, we had this for our game night, and we had a lot of people say they really enjoyed it. So I wanted to share this recipe with you all. The whole recipe and instructions will be down below in the description box, as well as the link to the next recipe, which is going to be this delicious lemon pound cake. For this pound cake, you'll need flour, sugar, sour cream, a whole cup of butter. We are more on a margarine style budget, or margarine amount of a budget, so that's what we got. We got 4 lemons is about how much you're going to need, some baking soda, salt, 6 eggs, and some powdered sugar for the glaze. I started off by putting my softened margarine into a bowl and adding in my sugar. I deviated a little bit in how I added everything for the recipe. I just end up being a little lazy when it comes to when I add things. A lot of times it'll say to cream one thing with another, and I find as long as the mixture is a little bit wet at the beginning before you add your flour in, you won't get clumps of flour in your mixture. So then I added in my salt. I grated the peel of the lemon and added some into the mixture. I also went ahead and juiced my lemons and added that into my mixture along with my sour cream. And there you can see the lemon peels going in. I added in all of my eggs at once. They said to add them in one at a time, but as I said, I'm using a mixer, so I don't feel the need to add them in one at a time. Now I like to reserve a little bit of the lemon peel as well as the lemon juice for a glaze to put over the top. The recipe does explain that you can do that and explain the process, but I don't think it includes lemon peel. I just like having a little bit of that lemon zest in with everything. Then I went ahead and mixed all those wet ingredients and started to add my flour in. I added in the 3 cups of flour that the recipe calls for, and you can see my batter came together really nicely. I sprayed down the bundt cake pan, and I have found the only way I can keep a bundt cake from coming out in pieces is to put the butter in or spray it down and add flour as well to do the butter and flour technique when it comes to lining the pan. Even though this is a non-stick pan, I have had poor luck with just spraying it down with the butter spray and trying to just put the cake in. A lot of times it'll still stick even though I've sprayed it really well, but doing a butter flour method seems to fix that issue. I baked it for about 50 minutes in a 325-degree oven, and it came out really nice and golden brown. I flipped it out onto my little sheet pan that I'm putting it on for now, and then I started making the glaze. I just added in lemon juice into the powdered sugar and added in about a tablespoon of lemon zest again into this mixture. I really like a good lemony pound cake, so that's why I added the zest. I think it adds a nice extra touch to it. And you can see we have a nice consistency. I went ahead and poured it all over that bundt cake, and then I used just a simple basting brush and kind of brushed it so that it would create a good seal. This will harden up a little bit, and it just keeps your cake really nice and moist, and it keeps it from drying out when you have this nice glaze on top. And it also adds some really nice lemony flavor as soon as that cake hits your tongue. And here is our finished dessert. This is delicious. It serves a whole bunch of people. We got 27 slices out of it, and they were decent sized slices as well. So if you're looking for a delicious, budget-friendly, and compact dessert, consider a pound cake, especially a lemon pound cake, because I feel like it's one of those things that doesn't get made nearly as often and is really just nice and refreshing and matches a lot of different meals that you might have. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Have a wonderful week.